I'm Norman Liss, and the name of the program is The Way to Go. I invite you to join me each week at this time as we explore places to go and things to do. I've got good news for you today, and the good news is about a show called Good News that's at the Westchester Broadway Theater. It's a great, big, dancing, singing, large cast show, and we're very fortunate today to have the director, choreographer of the show. He's a remarkably talented man. His name is Thommie Walsh. He's a two-time Tony Award winner, and Thommie, it's really great to have you here and get some insights into this whole world of choreography. What's the requirement? What do you have to become a choreographer? What is the basic ingredient of good choreography?
Good instincts, someone that doesn't mind spending many, many hours in a studio exploring just, say, 2 bars of music. Sometimes it can come very easy. The steps can come very easy. I think knowledge, appreciation for it, loving to dance. A lot of people that are good choreographers sometimes aren't good dancers.
Mm-hmm. And vice versa, I suppose.
And vice versa, yes.
Where do the ideas come from? Like any creative process, you start with a concept. I mean, a composer hears music in his head. Mm-hmm. Does a choreographer see the steps in his head?
Yes, you do. You see a whole plan, a overall kind of look of what the number might be. If you're lucky, you have it in the text, in the script. That
I don't understand that. What do you mean?
Well, might tell you that it's a boy meets girl dance. So that helps you right away. You have a beginning there. You don't have to just grab something out of nowhere about what this dance might be. And then maybe you would add like some other parts of the story, that maybe he loses the girl and then maybe he gets the girl back at the end of the dance. So you have like 3 different feelings within that dance. So it doesn't just become about steps, it becomes about the story. And
but in this show, in Good News, there's so much dancing, with a lot of people dancing. And I know the audience loves that, to see all this coordination, this movement, and everything goes with it. And of course, the color, the costumes, the lighting. What about that?
Well, all of our dances don't have a story. A lot of them are about just pure entertainment, where they just get out there and do buffo, sacco, singing and dancing, and just entertain the socks off the people there in the house.
What makes it buffo and sacco? Is it? I
guess hiring the right people, surrounding yourself with a lot of talented, young, vital people, which I have done there at the Westchester Theater. Mm-hmm. And my love and appreciation for this period, I'm very connected to like the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. I think I was maybe born too late, or I was maybe there at the time. So I have a connection to this kind of work. So I think it comes easy to me.
This might be a good point to talk about what this show is all about. You talk about the 20s, and so this is kind of a period piece and not a period piece, because the music is so familiar. So let's give it a little bit of a history and what it's about.
Well, it's about the game. It's about the football game, and the hero of the game is flunking his astronomy test, and so he's given the opportunity to retake his exam, and in hopes that he's going to pass the exam, because if he doesn't pass the second time around, he's not going to be able to play the game. And if he doesn't play the game, then the school doesn't win, and that would just be awful. So that's kind of like what the story is about.
But this all started. This was a big hit on Broadway in
the 20s. In the 20s, I think in 1927, when Showboat opened, and Funny Face, which was a Fred and Adele Astaire vehicle. A few other musicals. It was very big at the time.
And it's got this college spirit. I mean,
yes, it's about this football game.
Captured in this photo that we're looking at, which was actually taking an exterior. You don't put an automobile on stage.
We did this at a college around here. These are my 6 principals right here, and about their love relationships. Also, they kind of like get together by the end. Everyone lives happily ever after in this musical, and
That's the way it used to be.
yes, yes. And we have a great score with songs like "Life Is Just a Bowl of Cherries" and "Good News," of course, "The Varsity Drag," "Button Up Your Overcoat," "The Best Things in Life Are Free." I mean, it goes on and on and on. "Never Swat a Fly." Did you ever hear that song?
No, I didn't.
It's one of my favorite songs in the score. And we have like 25 people in our cast.
That's a large cast. It's a large cast for any show, and certainly
well, for Broadway now you can't afford to even have a cast of 25 people practically.
Right.
So I'm delighted that I have Bob Funking and Bill Stutler giving me 25 people here on this stage.
Now, there was a very successful movie in 1947 made of this. There was an earlier movie, and then this one was very, very successful.
With June Allison, I think, and
Yes.
Peter Lawford.
Yes.
Peter Lawford dancing. That was quite amusing. And
Only a choreographer could say that.
well, it was kind of amusing. I mean, he was an actor that, moved well. But in those days, I guess everybody did everything. They sang and they danced and they acted. You had to.
Moved well. That's an expression I've heard so many times in the theater. I know even if a person isn't a dancer, people always look to see that they move well. What does that mean?
Well, that you can get from stage left to stage right without falling down, I guess. And it also helps the choreographer because most of the time the choreographer has to at least choreograph, say, the bows. And if somebody can't run out and be coordinated, it kind of sticks out.
Choreograph the bows?
Choreograph the bows. The final moment of the show.
Yeah.
I have big dancing bows in this show. It's like another dance number where we don't just bow, but we dance and we keep singing and dancing for you until
I never thought
the very end.
The fact that in the theater that the bows are choreographed. I guess in non-musical theater as well. In straight drama, there is something. Oh, now you can answer a question for me. That's always. When there's a long lineup of people and they bow, how do they all bow at the same time?
It kind of comes from the middle. You cue off the person in the middle is what happens. So that person is breathing up and down, and he kind of like brings everybody with him. So you kind of cheat in. It's like being a rockette. They have to like cheat to the ends, but in bows you cheat to the center. I think is that trick. See, now you can go and bow all over the country now.
I can't tell you how valuable that is, invaluable that is for me. I have to go find an opportunity to bow now. You're of course, started as a dancer. You were in the original cast of Chorus Line, weren't you?
Yes, very lucky to be part of that, part of musical theater history.
But you also the story that you told was your story. So.
My true story. There were maybe about 8 of us that actually told our story from beginning to end. Many of us, many of the dancers in the show, they were playing other dancers or they were playing composites of 2 and 3 other dancers. And I was lucky to have done my whole life experience. I mean, some things were changed because Michael Bennett put a little bit of his story in every one of the stories. Like I said, I was from Buffalo, New York. To commit suicide in Buffalo is redundant was my famous line. I was from about 150 miles away from there near Syracuse, New York. So he put a little bit of his signature on every one of our characters.
Now, Michael Bennett had an important part in your career path, didn't he?
My first Broadway show was Seesaw, where I met Tommy Tune, who I did a lot of shows with on Broadway. And Michael was the director and the choreographer of that show. So it was kind of like an instant family right away. And maybe about 2 years later, Seesaw, I think, was in 1973, and Chorus Line was in 1975. And then after I'd done about 2 years with Chorus Line, I started working with Tommy Tune on The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. And
then after that, you did 2 other shows in which you won
Tonys.
Won Tonys for those.
For Hollywood Ukraine and My One and Only with Twiggy.
The Tony Award, Wayne Cilento, who's a good friend of yours, was on this program last year.
He just got nominated yesterday also. Again. Good luck, Wayne.
Yes. And the Tony, it's important, isn't it?
It's It's very important. I think mostly it's important because you remember when you were sitting home in Auburn, New York, and you were watching the Tony Awards. I think it's important because of things like that, of memories about it, and watching all those people and going, gee, I want to be that. I want to be part of that. I want to get the accolades from my peers, the
Is it as
acknowledgement.
intense for the people who are sitting there waiting to see if they won as it appears to be from we viewers who are at home?
Yes, I can honestly say that all that stuff that you hear about when people say, oh, it's just an honor to be nominated, I can honestly say that I felt that, and if I didn't win, that would have been fine. But as soon as you hit that pavement in front of that theater, you start getting very aggressive, and I want it, I need it, I have to have it. But for the month before that, it is a great honor to be nodded by your peers, so it's getting the nod from your peers. It's very nice.
What's it like working with Tommy Tune, who has achieved so much? Is he tough on himself and tough on
He's very generous to the people around him. I don't think that he's tough on himself or anybody really. He was very generous to me. I learned a lot about my craft right there in New York. I didn't, go out in Buffalo, New York and choreograph for the Melody Top, summer stock theater or something. I kind of learned my craft right there in New York with him, and I would, bring a dance to him, and he would say, I don't like it, go back and make it better, and give me suggestions about things. And I was always included in every meeting, with the set designer, with the lighting designer, with the costume designer, with the producers, whatever. So I learned my whole a lot from him, and a great deal from Michael Bennett also, because as I said, we were very much part of what the show was about. We would say, I want to wear this to the costume designer. We would say, we would bring a story to Michael that day. We'd talk about kissing all day or something. And so we were part of the writing process. So I've been very lucky being with these men that gave so much to me. They were very generous.
I want to get back to Good News, and I do want to remind our audience that we're talking today about Good News, which is at the Westchester Broadway Theater, and my guest today is Thommie Walsh, who is the director. Getting back to Good News now, of course, it starts somewhere, okay? So you've got a script and you got a show, but the director puts so much on. Now, we have a lot of performers. We have some scenes that we're going to show, and then we have a special treat for our audience, which we'll get to in a few moments. But we have a locker room scene, for example. There's a lot of energy in that. I mean, it's a strong scene, isn't it?
Yeah, it's with about 12 guys, headed by a man named Bob Amaral, who plays the character Pooch. And they're singing a song called Sunny Side Up, which, Keep Your Sunny Side Up, which is a great show-stopping number. Even if you had two guys doing it, I guess it would be a great tune. And
so when you're planning, when you're choreographing this, I mean, it's got to be a strong beat, aggressive type of, the
virile, masculine, testosterone just flowing all over the place. And the youth of it, I mean, they're all like about in their early 20s, and so that
I think
vitality,
you have to keep that energy going.
That vitality, it's a long number. Then they have another number earlier. It's called the drill, where they just knock themselves out, just doing all kinds of calisthenics and working with, tires from the 1920s, where the athletes would jump in and out of the tires and tackle things, dummies that they tackle. And
I've seen the show and had a great time, and I wonder how many people notice that in the scene where they're punching at something and the last thing they punch at is the coach's stomach. That's a director's touch, I said to myself.
Yes.
It's kind of a throwaway, right?
It's kind of like the exclamation point at the end of a sentence, where they did this certain sequence, and then that was like the finale of that sequence. I'm glad you got it.
Well, it was there to be seen. And, another thing that I got was I was amazed that there's so much going on in the audience, and at several points there are people look like they're dancing on tables in the rear.
I'm real fond of this theater. It just lends itself to like doing environmental kind of staging. So we have them dancing on tables. They're called the bus tables. They're really not dancing on your food, but they're dancing on what they call the bus tables, and they dance in the aisles, and they get the audiences chanting the cheers from Tate College, and yeah, we do a lot in the aisles. They have great chairs. They're like on swivels, so it makes the audience like do a little work also. You know, they have to like swing around on the chairs.
Now, I promised the audience a treat, and one of the great songs, one of the hit songs, one of the most famous songs is the Varsity Drag.
Yeah.
And that is quite a number, isn't it?
I'm very proud of this number. I have a great assistant. Her name is Fawn Peterson. She's from Colorado, and she came in and assisted me on this, and I think we have a heck of a number here.
Well, I think we really have it here because you've been very generous in bringing along a clip of that. It's a rather long one, and I think our audience is going to enjoy it very much. So why don't we look at that now and really give the audience an opportunity to see the Varsity Drag as it is at the Westchester Broadway Theater.
Thanks, Norman.
talk about exuberance, and when we talk about energy, and we talk about choreography, and we talk about a large cast, I think that clip that we shown is certainly an example of that. Working it out with the cast, so I suppose it first starts in rehearsal clothes, like
Yes.
we've seen it.
Yes.
We've seen it so many times in the movies, and then I know there's a question of some people, you mentioned this to me earlier, that they think that it all comes to life when the costumes and the lights go on.
Yes.
But
Well, I had said to you something like, if it's not working in the rehearsal room, it's not going to rehearse. I mean, it's not going to work on the stage. Like a lot of directors and choreographers say, oh, it'll be a lot better when the lights and the costumes are out there. And for me, I think that if it's not working in rehearsal clothes with just bare bones, with just, a piano, then it's not going to work in front of an audience. I don't care how many, what kind of costumes you have or what kind of lighting you have. Because if the heart and soul isn't there in the rehearsal studio, it's not going to be out there when it's...
What tells you that it's working?
Sometimes the cast will tell you that that's working. I was that kind of dancer myself where I'd stand there with my hands folded across my body and I'd go, this is not happening. Sometimes you can just tell by body language that your dancers are giving you. And also, I've made up enough dances now that I can tell that this is lousy or this is on its way to being good or this just needs a little more spice.
Does it change?
It evolves constantly. It evolves. If you have 8 hours of rehearsal, it evolves those whole 8 hours. If you have 2 hours, then it has to get done in that 2 hours.
And once it's set, it's the same every time?
No, I don't think so. Like that dance was just headed by a woman named Shannon Pritchard and Michael Osteen. And both of them, I think, bring something different to that dance every day. And it's called
Because you worked with him before in Sugar, which you directed at this theater.
It's something about bringing something new to it every performance. And it's not so much about, they wouldn't change a step or change an arm or change a head or something like that. But it's just something that they bring to it when they enter that stage door every day. If you're having a good day, the performance might be really exciting. And if you're having a bad day, it's your job as a professional actor to make it look like opening night.
One of the nice things about this show is that those who like good-looking men and those who like good-looking women have an example to see a lot of both.
We have a lot of that, yes.
And one of the scenes, and this, of course, takes advantage of the electronics, is this scene that we have where this group of very attractive young ladies rise up in the hydraulics that the theater allows you to do, in their lingerie.
In their lingerie, yes. Kind of like a Busby Berkeley type number. They come up like, it looks like a wedding cake. It's a poof in their sorority. And yes, we have some very attractive women.
How does that evolve? Is the costuming come first, or is that part of the director's role?
And that's part of the director's role. It says and collaborates with his designer, his costume designer, and then we would even have to tell the set designer that we're going in a flesh kind of tones and mauves and peaches and pinks and things like that, so it doesn't clash with then the set. And
some of the things that the
people don't know. My mother and father think they come opening night and they think that it was all done in the weekend or something, and that's our job, to make it look easy and to make it look like that it's just happening for the first time.
And you don't perform anymore because you choreograph not only other shows, you do commercials and documentaries, and you also wrote a book, didn't you?
I wrote a book based on a chorus line, my experiences while doing that show and how it was put together. I collaborated with all of the original cast members, but the project was with Bjork Lee and with a man named Robert Viagas. And the three of us, I spent about 10 years, but the three of us spent about 3 years in putting it together. And it's I'm very proud of it.
Robert Viagas used to be at the New York Times.
No, but he is a critic, and he lives up here.
Yes, I think I met him when he was with the New York Times many years ago.
He writes for Playbill and
Name sounds very familiar to me.
A really talented guy, and was like willing to like put up with Bayek and myself and all of my siblings there at Chorus Line, because we're a strange group of people.
But a great show.
A great show, and I think
And a terrible movie.
yes, yes.
You also choreograph for some really top personalities.
I've been very lucky to work with people that I had admired for many years. I've worked for Mitzi Gaynor for many years. I've made up dances for Cheetah Rivera, for Donna McKechnie, for Juliet Prowse, Joel Grey, Barbara Cook.
Well, the results of the work that you're doing at the Westchester Broadway Theater with the Good News is really good news. And one of the things that we want to be sure to do is to tell people what number to call to get further information.
I think it's area code 914-592-2222. And
it's an easy number to remember.
If you're smart, yes. But I hope you all come and see our show. I thank you very much for getting there, Norman.
Well, it's really the kind of a show that
it's family entertainment. It's very entertaining. You'll go feeling good about yourself when you leave the theater. You'll be singing and dancing. It's,
and because the songs are so familiar, I mean, there's a lot of nostalgia in it for people who remember the era or like the era, and there's a lot of value in it also for
young people
who have never seen it before.
I think so. It educates them to these wonderful composers and lyricists. Yes.
And I thank you very much for coming today. We really had a great time.
Thanks a lot, Norman.
My guest today is Thommie Walsh, who is the director choreographer of Good News, which is at the Westchester Broadway Theater, a bouncy, lively, entertaining program. I'm Norman Liss, and the name of this program is The Way to Go. And until next week at this time, enjoy yourself.